Yo, what's up, guys? Um, so I do feel better. I am all good. I just don't have time to do a lecture today. We're gonna have to do tomorrow, and we have to do tomorrow because I'm leaving later Thursday afternoon, and I won't be back till basically Monday. I'm not sure if I can stream. We'll have to see if I can stream on Sunday or Saturday. I'm really not sure, but yeah. So we pretty much have to do tomorrow, and I'll put out the time later. But I can do these recaps for you guys real quick. So we're gonna go over both trades in one video. So here on the higher time frame, we have gold and a correlated asset here, which is gold GBP. And remember this universal sequence from a long time ago up here, right? Cracking correlation between these highs, which is pretty much all-time highs, and we displaced away. We know that when we form SMT and we displace away, creating a gap, that gives us like this higher, it's a higher probability range from low to high. So you mark it from reversal high to retracement low. This gives us a high probable leg. Now, if we jump up to the 3-month chart, we know that we know the new quarter just opened, right? So you get this kind of like a reversal candle, especially on silver over here. So seeing the previous quarter's low is a possibility. Now, I personally don't really care to view price like this on the higher time frame because it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest, because I'm a day trader. I don't really care about predicting these big moves. Because here's the thing, it's like you're gonna still, long within this bearish. If we do get down here, right, you're still gonna have opportunities to long. It doesn't make it invalid. So trading counter trend to this idea is still absolutely fine. So I'm not gonna only short, for example, because I'm not holding to here. So it doesn't really matter. I don't really do a lot of predicting on the hard side from too much. Just like I just want to see the next week and the next day. Really, that's really all I care about. But one thing that's interesting about price is how fractal it is. And when you have like maybe a gap, right? And maybe price is not reversing from the gap, or you just have a range and you have a gap within that. Price is retracing and it's not maybe reversing. Something that's interesting is you will see that you will jump up a time frame and you will let that time frame form a gap. And this is fractal, right? We do this on all the time on the 30-minute, the 1 hour, the 1 hour, the 4 hour. We do this all the time, right? Where price will, let's say this is a 30-minute time frame, it'll trade into a gap. It won't reverse, for example. And now this is the new gap low, for example, right? This right here, this low is now the new gap high on the 1 hour, for example. You can see this right here on the 2-week time. I know it's going to sound stupid, but the 2-week time frame. There's nothing special about any time frame you guys use. People are using the 7 hour, the 6 hour, dude, the 90-minute. Like, there's nothing special about any time frame you pick. I could pick the fucking 40-minute time frame. You're going to see the same things, right? It's all about calculating that specific increment of time, right? So if I use the 2-week chart here, you're going to see what I'm talking about, right? We are with this candle right here. We are within the weekly fair value gap right here, within this weekly candle, this 2-week candle, right? But it doesn't reverse, right? So what does it do? When this 2-week candle closes, it creates a higher time frame gap, and that's when price reverses. Does that kind of make sense? And it forms that two-stage SMT, right? It's fractal. Now, am I going to teach 2-week time frame? No, but I just want to teach you guys a lesson about how fractal price is. Okay, so simply, if you're just going on a weekly time frame, we can see something. This is what we mainly use, right? And I'm not going to teach how to do this on all time frames because it's not necessary. Obviously, it's going to be confusing. Okay, so here's a PSP, and we have a two-stage PSP, right? And this PSP high is the 2-week high or 2-week low low of the fair value gap. Sorry, right? So there's an SMT fill there, but it doesn't matter, right? But here's your two-stage PSP, and then next week reverses, right? Now I don't really like the way price looks here. It's more so just expanding away, not even the cleanest reversal, I would say. So this week opens up. This is not bad, I guess you could say. Like the candle 3 here, Monday does open high first, and it prints a PSP. So this is honestly fine. I still just don't like the way this reverses, to be honest, because like if this is the reversal, right? I don't like the way this candle prints, right? I want it to displace away, right? Creating a bearish candle, not like close back inside of the range like this. But that is like kind of like the last chance to continue from, I guess, is this previous candle's high. Because think about it, this could be viewed as like relevant highs right here. The space between this high and this high, and obviously it's a PSP, so you definitely would want SMT there, interverse from there. So it's like whatever. But anything up here on the daily time frame, there's no protected daily high. It's just a bunch of failure swings, right? Let me just look at it. Let's kind of get here. Like, look at these highs, right? Boom, 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 boom. There's no like real retracements going on here. A bunch of failure swings, so it's really hard to trade this. It's just consolidation, right? So like some expansion and just consolidation, right? And what do we do after consolidation? We expand again. So yeah, there's really nothing much going on here, but today here, we mark out on these assets, right? When we actually create SMT with relevant levels like this, and then we fail to manipulate them. Look at this asset yesterday, Tuesday. We just failed to manipulate them. You can see here, if I bar replay, if you can hear these birds chirping, yeah, sorry, dude, but yeah, they're going crazy. But as you can see here, we engage with this low. You can see this is pretty far away, right? But this asset over here just continues. Whoops. This asset over here just continues through the low. That means that this asset can catch up, right? And that's what happens to pretty much yesterday. And it's really the same thing, right? When this asset, gold, engaged with this low, if we get a continuation phase of price, like consolidation / retracement, that means an asset like silver can do the same thing pretty much, right? It should also continue, right? To potentially the same lows, right? So that's what I'm kind of going off of, right? And if we're going to continue, where are we going to continue from? The previous day's range, and ideally we're trading expansion, some type of gap, right? So we know if we're going to continue from the previous day's range, we want to look for a higher from gap in price. So if you go up to the 4-hour time frame, or the 6-hour. 6-hour, you can see it a little bit more clear, I do believe. Yeah, we can, right? So check this out. Inside of that previous day's range, what we got? Gap here, and obviously that's SMT fill, right? So one thing about Q1 is most of the time it's just accumulation. Especially with the way, you got to understand the way this candle forms is highly likely to be accumulation. I'm going to show you why. So let's play the whole candle out. So I'm not going to trade this candle, this SMT fill here. I'm going to show you why. So when you actually look in this, so you could have potentially, I guess, right here, like maybe like up in here, but the way it kind of forms kind of ass. So it does open low first, right? And then it trades into this. This is a strength PSP. So I would say you could have definitely potentially traded this. The wick size, though, is a problem, right? The wick size is an issue on the 4-hour. So that's why I say I would not trade this. And I didn't trade this. But mainly this here, I think there was some SMT up in here. Like before, if I'm not mistaken, at least, like some assets took this out. I know that for sure. Yeah. Yep. It's like some SMT right here, right? The reason why you wouldn't trade this inside of this 6-hour candle, if I look here, if it plays, so this first 6-hour candle of the day is because of how it forms, right? Look how it forms, right? Opens high, opens low, opens high. Same thing over here, right? It's like seek and destroy. Like this is the definition of consolidation or accumulation, right? So just wait for that time increment to close, right? So we need to wait for that to close because the current candle that you're trading does not support, it's not an expansion profile for the candle. It's like a daily candle. If it doesn't support an expansion profile, you're not going to trade it, right? Same shit. It's the same thing. Price is fractal, right? So if I play price at 12 o'clock, here's 12 o'clock. Let's go and see what that candle looks like on the close. I don't know why it's so laggy. It's weird. But we do create a PSP, right? And what we look, and when we look inside this candle, this 6-hour candle, to know if we need to sweep the high or not. You're just going to simply look, do we have a reversal within this candle or not? If we don't, you need to re-sweep the high to create a 2-stage PSP. Right? Very simple stuff. I mean, it's really simple. So when we go to the hourly, right? Clearly, we don't have that, right? When I look over here, what is this shit? Like, this is like an inside bar type of thing going on, right? It's just not reversal, right? And I can kind of go to the lower time frame and show you as well. Right, see these equal highs up the here and over here, right? There's literally damn near equal highs is here up here as well, right? Equal highs right here, right? Just not reversal, right? So when you play price, there's really no confirmation to that anyways. Boom, this is what you want right here. This is the relevant piece of price action right here, because this is when we create that 2-stage SMT. You also wouldn't want to trade in this candle either, like I said, because or you don't want to trade in this candle, sorry, 2200. It's much like this 4-hour candle, right? The wick is too large, right? Wicks are way too big here. So just wait for 2 p.m. or 2 a.m., sorry, 2 a.m. So wait for that candle to close. Now it's the same thing. You know, do we have a reversal within this candle? Just because you have a C2 closure in SMT doesn't really mean it's a reversal. You got to have reversal signatures up in here, right? So what do we have? Like, what are we opening up within? Like, this looks perfect, bro. Like V shape and everything. Basically, this next 5-minute candle is the 2 a.m. open, right? And what did we do within the previous 4-hour candle? Just at the end of it, the last 20 minutes of that candle, we actually created the 2-stage SMT, right? And the CST. Look at the V shape here. So this is when I just took a positional entry, right when the candle closed, basically, or right when the 4-hour candle opened, the new 4-hour candle opened. I put my stop loss like this, and you're gonna see that's what cooked me. But I was looking for this low down here, right? It's just 4-hour internal to external. Simple stuff, right? The low of the day is 2100 as well. But yeah, this is just obviously a consolidation phase of price right here on the higher time frame, right? If I go like the 4-hour, for example, slash retracement, right? This looks like consolidation, right? We're just inside barring between one candle. So it's just very small range, right, after expansion. So seeking continuation, obviously ideal. And this is the 2-stage PSP, right? Bearish candle over here, bullish candle over here. We sweep the high, we don't sweep the high over here. There's 2-stage PSP. And you don't need to confirm this SMT with like a 1-hour / 30-minute PSP or like 2-stage SMT, because this in itself is a 2-stage SMT, guys. This higher time frame 2-stage PSP. That's what's confirming the gap here, right? And now you're just aligning expansion candles, right? So obviously this candle you're not going to trade within because it has a large wick. So you're going to wait for 2 a.m. So now you're aligned. If you look at the profile, how today more so opening, high first. Not on this asset, obviously, just because it's weaker. It's creating the bearish candle, right? It's more so just in a consolidation phase, though. We cannot say that this is an established low of day, though, right? We cannot say that. We more so have an established high of day, but no established low of the day, right? This didn't really do anything. Didn't trade into anything really relevant. So yeah, we're good to go, right? When you look at the 2 a.m. candle, what are we opening up within? A 1-hour or above swing point, or sorry, a 30-minute above swing point. You have a C2 over here, a C2 over here. So I'm looking to trade C3, and I'm just assuming that 2 a.m. will just open high into the CSD and then go like that. But it does do that, of course, but it goes really high in the range, right? Disrespecting the EQ of this candle, and that's what takes me out. So I'm not